Altcoins have been an absolute disaster, dumpster fire this year. Most in the crypto space have given up on them. I'm hearing endless stories about how altcoins won't have a comeback at all, even if Bitcoin takes off next year. Now, it's almost common knowledge now that alts are dead, and there is no comeback in order. And that's exactly what I want to hear. Now, today is Omi is my homie. Randy is just boarding his flight. Doc can't make it tonight. So tonight, you get me all to yourselves this evening. Before we get started, I want to share why I created this channel and podcast in the first place. Now, I grew up poor in life, and I joke about how I was too poor for Kool-Aid, but it really isn't a joke because my mom would go to the commissary because my dad was in the military. And so we got commissary privileges, but he was just part-time for the National Guard. And so he could go, or my mom could go once a month, and she would buy 2 Flavor Aid packs because they were like 40% the price of Kool-Aid. And we'd get 2 for the whole month. And I thought one day, I hope I have enough money to buy Kool-Aid. More than that, I realized money allows us options in life. And after a few months of being in crypto, when I started 8 years ago, I recognized that there was a huge technology shift. And with that technology shift, the most amazing, massive potential for financial gains that will change your life completely. Now, I had been waiting for this type of chance my whole life. Now, after 8 years of being in crypto, I know that crypto can and will change your finances in your life, but only if you are doing it right. I learned that 95% of people in crypto don't make meaningful money, or they flat out lose money. Only 5% of crypto investors make life-changing gains that take them into the lifestyle we all dreamed about. So I focused 100% of everything on figuring out what those 5% did and then put it into practice myself. And what you know, it worked. By 2021, using those principles, I was able to fire my day job, move to the city I wanted, and put myself in position to never have to work again if I didn't want to. Now, do you know someone who would like to be in a similar position to that? Probably not, right? Because everyone loves their day job, wants to stay there till they're 95, hates travel, and thinks the finer things in life are just for other people. Who wants to be rich anyway? Now, if you know someone looking at really learning to become part of that 5% make life-changing gains, they can join my Patreon link and down below if they're interested, and that will give them access to our Rainmaker private Discord. And this is where we talk more deeply about discussions on what those 5% do and becoming a savage crypto investor. Well, Dr. Stuff and Randy Chavez, not here today. And as I was sharing at the beginning, 2025 has been a disappointing year because what we have been waiting for isn't here yet. The idea of a 4-year cycle is now broken in everyone's minds, and many are deciding that because it didn't happen in 4 years, it isn't going to happen. That can be very tempting to believe. How many people remember back to April of this year? People were all but declaring ETH is dead back in April. ETH was all the way down to 1,400, and there were seemingly endless stories about how ETH was on its way to its own demise. Now, if you said something different, you weren't taken seriously in polite company because everyone knows ETH is dead. Yet over the next 4 months, ETH went from its lows of 1,400 just under 5,000. And all those stories of ETH being dead were completely forgotten. And things just moved on, except for those of us that remember patterns. It's like, that's interesting. Now, the same is true for altcoins. You've seen, like, most are believing that they're all but dead, and that isn't the case. Now, Omi had a jump this week, and perhaps that's from the actual listing on Kraken. If so, it'll probably just be a little bump up like it's been and then come back down. Now, is Omi dead? Not even close. So let's talk about the bigger issue as we think about this year in past and more importantly, the year ahead of us. In studying our subconscious mind, researchers discovered what they call the law of expectation, which is what we expect to happen, we almost always realize. So if we deeply at a subconscious level expect that we will be massively successful in crypto investing, we actually find ourselves gravitating towards the right information that guides us to that destination. If we at a deeper level expect that this will ultimately not lead to gains that we are consciously hoping for, we actually take actions that sabotage that success and go towards information from bad sources. So you might be asking yourself, but Rain, you're saying our subconscious is going to make the altcoin rally happen? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. The altcoin rally is going to happen. Billions will be made by some people. What I'm saying is you may or may not necessarily be part of that group that makes the massive gains. All of you are likely somewhere comfortable at home. If you're driving your car, don't fully follow what we're going to go through. Hey, baby, can I have you on in a second? Thank you. I appreciate it. She's bringing my dinner. That's Mrs. Rain there. I want you to do something with me. It will seem silly, and it is silly, but it still works. We're right at the end of the year. It's a good time to do something like this. I want you to close your eyes and let your breath be intentional, breathing in and out, in for 4 seconds and out for 4 seconds. I know this seems silly. Just do this with me. Now, do you remember a time where everything seemed to flow and be fun? Something you did, like a sport, maybe a certain class that you just found you were good at and you loved. Something you did that it almost seemed effortless when you were doing it, and it was so fun. Now, it seemed effortless because you were in a state of play, a state of exploration and fun. Now, keep those feelings with you and let that feeling amplify in you. This coming year, even if you don't yet believe it, is going to be a lot of play and fun in the crypto space. I want you to imagine in a playful and fun way that it's Christmas 2026. You spent more fun buying Christmas gifts than any year ever because 2026, while your goals and your dreams came together, crypto became the talk of the world. Bitcoin went up, altcoins later followed, and you took all the right actions to really make 2026 go so well for you. You almost just seemed to know what to do, and it didn't even seem hard. It was just playtime. Now, you only invested with money that you could afford to lose, but because it became playtime and just fun, you only took smart risks with big upsides, and it still took some patience, but it all played out. And now your life is forever changed because you realized you're really good at investing and sorting for the right kinds of companies that have great chances to survive and do well. And you also got really good at buying low and selling high because you have just the right amount of patience and tenacity. While so many let life and the dreariness of the bear market weigh them down and burn them out, you decide to make it fun. And you could see that the same bear market, bull market patterns would still play out, even if most people decided not to believe in that anymore. It was just delayed because of some bigger governmental money supply issues that just delayed things for a bit. Digital collectibles are now what most collectors in the world are talking about, and Vivi is leading the world in digital collectibles. And you somehow always knew it would. And you were right. All right. The reason I wanted to walk through that is because crypto investing doesn't have to be hard. A lot of it comes from our expectations. Now, bear markets are long, and we can let the day-to-day price action just really beat us down, but why? Prices are going to be down until they're not. And as long as the companies continue to have funds to continue operations and can survive, this technology behind blockchain cryptocurrency is going to change the world. It allows things like digital collectibles to be verifiable, to be able to be traded on an instantaneous market in an app like Vivi, and people to know they're getting the legitimate thing. Massive brands will be interested in making digital collectibles, and at some point, collectors across the whole world are going to gravitate towards the digital versions of these, and it is likely to play out next year. A lot of people have lost their patience. That's okay. We can't control that. We can only control ourselves and what decisions we're going to make. Now, what's funny is when I got into crypto, I didn't wonder if crypto was going to do well for me. I decided I was going to learn everything I needed to make sure crypto went well for me. I thought everyone starting with me was going to get completely rich from this, because why wouldn't you? What I learned is most people let the doubts in their mind wash them out, or they kept gravitating towards the low probability bets like meme coins, and they would buy what everyone was talking about because that's where the action seemed like it was, missing out on the fundamental principle of buy low and then sell high. They would endlessly try the buy high, hope it goes higher pattern, and that doesn't work out very well. So now we're in a state that most of the altcoins are down lower than they've been almost the whole bear market. Some people are really depressed, but why? This is just a game. If you were playing a game and you knew that it followed these cyclical patterns, and even if the patterns sometimes don't play out as cleanly over a 4-year timeline as we want, but the pattern is buy low, sell high. And specifically, you want to buy things that seem like they'll have a relevance in the future, say digital collectibles or the token related to digital collectibles, because they're selling lots of those digital collectibles. They have incoming revenues, so their likelihood to be able to survive till things go crazy seems high. Seems like the right place to be, right? If you were just playing a game, isn't that the decision you would take? Well, we are just playing a game. Yeah, it is with real money, but it is just a game. Because it's with real money, some people get so frustrated because their expectations are, it has to happen this way or else. Why are you creating those expectations? This is why we always talk about using money you can't afford to lose, not that you don't want to. It allows you the ability to be patient, because sometimes cycles take a little bit longer than you would hope for. Now, much of it is set to really happen this year. You've got the big bill in front of Congress, the Clarity Act, probably going to get passed, pushed through this next year. We're going to have money supply growth, which money supply growth is a bigger determination of the altcoin season than any other single indicator. And with the Federal Reserve going to quantitative easing, as well as interest rates likely to come down a bunch more, we're going to see some really big money supply growth. And that is going to push massive amounts of money, likely into altcoins. And I know 80-90% of people seem to be saying no altcoin rally. That's what they said in 2020 as well. And then they all forgot they said it in 2021. All right, want to jump into some of the questions. Turtle Golf here. OMI is up. Collect chain. Wealth Abundance, I'm hanging in there if you're hanging in there, but this really sucks ever since starting late Q4 2021. LOL. Oh, I'm definitely hanging in there. Yeah, this is just part of the process that really weeds out people that aren't really committed to it. Bill Gardner said, let's go. Bill Gardner, I know, is on track. Wealth Abundance says, I like it. I am dreaming of life and wife changing money. Invested large enough. Good to hear. It is funny. Wealth will increase the access you have to women. Although I strongly encourage you to get really good in your interactions with women, or you will end up with a really hot wife that will take you for everything. Lots of big news today, Kraken Live and Collect Chain. I think Collect Chain is a really big deal. Having gotten to meet Dr. Profit and talk with him, I really like his capabilities, the way he thinks. He's a really good businessman that works really hard to deliver real value to people and builds businesses based on that. Hey, Rain, what do you think about Uncle Jeremy's podcasts? Any insights on how his lessons from in real life collecting will translate to digital? I didn't see his podcast. Obviously, one of the most successful collectors and been involved in collecting. Is such a deep level. I don't know that he really gets the digital space and that transition very well, but a legend in the collecting space. So I'm curious, what were his lessons? I haven't listened to that podcast, so I don't know what my thoughts on it are. Well, normally I have some co-hosts here that we get to just bounce off of each other and go through some different things. So if you want to be my co-host today, share with me what's on your mind. Let's talk about it. We got Christmas coming up in 2 days. We got a new year starting in 8 days. 2026 is the year we're waiting for. And people ask, well, Ray, how do you know what's going to happen? No isn't the right word. It's just the probabilities are so exceptionally high based on how everything's lining up. You'll see money supply is the big factor that we've been missing, money supply growth. So we've already had the Bitcoin halving, and it really has pushed Bitcoin to new highs, really good new highs. Now it's pulled back some from those new highs, but even in a bull market, you see 2 steps forward, 1 step back, sometimes 3 steps forward, 2 steps back. But it's still on a general uptrend. The money supply growth, that hasn't really kicked in yet because mostly US Federal Reserve policy, as well as some of the other central banks around the world, but they are going to be pushing money into their economies. And what happens is a lot of that money flows then into riskier type of assets that can hopefully outpace inflation. So you're going to see money come into real estate. You're going to see a lot of refinances of real estate, and it will free up a lot of capital. And some of that money is going to make it into altcoins and push them up tremendously, as well as Bitcoin is going to see some massive capital investment from further capital investments, already seeing some, but from institutions and sovereign wealth funds and other things. We'll even see some of those institutions investing in altcoins. All right. Were you guys loving what Vivi is doing? I don't know about you, but I thought the Michelangelo drop was really, really cool. I especially like the alternative common, the black and white one of Michelangelo. Really, really limited. So anyone who got one of those, you hit a home run on that drop. So congratulations. That's a big deal. Vivi continues to bring really cool, memorable licenses like Street Fighter is coming out, which is cool. I don't know about you, but I grew up with Street Fighter being in, the game that everyone was playing at, the arcade. I would go to the local baseball card shop, and they had Street Fighter 2 there, and I probably spent about $200 playing that game over a period of about 2.5 years. So, top brands that people know and love. Vivi continues to deliver there. And so congratulations to them. On the investment side, I like the comic books a lot. I think this Michelangelo probably is going to do really well. But not every digital collectible is going to do exceptionally well. Like if you look at 1952 Topps baseball cards, the Mickey Mantle one has massively outperformed all the other baseball cards from that season. But there are other ones that season have done well, and some have just gone up. Some you might even be able to get for $3, $4, $5, or $10. And I don't know what the Mickey Mantle's at these days. But last I checked, they were going for 500,000 to $1 million if they were in really good shape. So some collectibles will massively outperform, and some will just do all right. This would be fun if they did something like this in the future. I hope you can fight different collectibles in augmented reality with a friend. Street Fighter versus Ninja Turtles. That would be cool if they took it like Smash Brothers, or what are some of the games where you actually could fight Capcom versus like Marvel and things like that. They would need a different type of license agreement, I think, to be able to do that. But we'll see. We'll see what comes together. Where Vivi is at now is not where it necessarily will be in the future. All right. What else is on your mind? I know Randy is really good at talking and talking and talking. Ongoing. Now, I had some prepared words and some prepared thoughts, and I really just wanted to walk everyone through. I guess the more I've realized that I've been in crypto, a lot of it comes down to our expectations. And really, if we expect to be successful in this, we take different actions when we do expect that we're going to be successful in this than if we're just trying it and we think we're going to fail. We're almost gravitate towards opposite type of actions. And it's funny, you would think that wouldn't be true, that we would all take the same kind of action, but it's not. And what I realized is I knew a person who was one of the top snowboarders in the world. And the reason I walked us through that visualization technique is like one of the differences between him and most people who were trying snowboarding is that he wasn't trying it. He knew he was going to be successful at this, and he was figuring out. And he spent a lot of his time visualizing him doing new tricks that he didn't know how to do, and he would learn them really fast, really clean, and really good. Because I grew up with a bunch of people who later became some of the top snowboarders in the world, but he was ranked in the top 10. But he spent more time than any of them just visualizing the success that he wanted to see come together. And he took 2 years off from snowboarding, but when he was off from snowboarding, he actually spent more time visualizing during that time than he normally did. When he came back, that was his record year. He came back, even though he was out of shape from not snowboarding and doing anything, came back and crushed it. And a lot of it was to do with his expectations and visualizing ultimately the success that he was working for. So they say when you're reaching for something, begin with the end in mind. And if the end of that is really, I mean, we're all wanting something different when we're reaching for higher levels of financial success. So if you spend time visualizing what that is, your subconscious will go to work helping you take the right actions that get you there. Now, some of you, I know one of our Rainmaker family, they really want to retire their wife so their wife can be a stay-at-home mom. And that's an amazing goal, as well as being able to live well in general. But that's the driving goal. And so if you spend time picturing that, your subconscious helps you take the right actions to get there. How did I meet Dr. Stuff and Randy? Well, I did get Dr. Stuff into crypto. I've known Dr. Stuff since we were little kids. So Randy, I met through Dr. Stuff, actually, because Dr. Stuff, when he came into crypto, Vivi was the first thing really wrapped his mind around. I had told him about NBA Top Shots, and he didn't get anything, and I didn't really push it with him. I had tried to talk with him about crypto in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020. So in 2020, NBA Top Shots launched, and I was like, yeah, I got these cool things. You can buy packs, and, it's NBA and their sports moments. I think they'll do well. Well, by March of 2021, my $1,100 investment in NBA Top Shots had become worth about $185,000. So when I shared that with him, that massively got his attention. I was like, look, the first Batman on the blockchain, I think is going to be a really big deal. Like, I can't say I know that it will be, but one, it's the first Batman on the blockchain. It is a big deal. And it's from this company, VV, and you can buy it on this app. And he ran with it. So he came in, got the VV app, bought some Todd McFarlane Batmans and stuff. And they did 200x from there. So they were going for about $80. They went to $200. So he went even deeper in VV than I did. And he's like, hey, Rain, we got to have Randy on the channel. This guy, the real Randy Chavez, he's super cool and likable. And we would sometimes do collabs with different people from the VV community, just talk about VV together. So he was one of the people we did a collab with. I was like, I really like this guy. Then I met him at NFT NYC and loved him. I was like, I love this guy. He's so cool, chill, and great. Then later we ended up doing, I forget, around the Comiverse with Jordan and Randy. And by then, Randy and Dr. Stuff and I were all really good friends. And we had heard this guy, Jordan, had lots of OMI. And we were in a Telegram group with him. So we set up around the Comiverse. Later, we just created our own thing. OMI is my homie together. A little, year and a half now or something. We've been doing this. At the time, like OMI was, blockchain gaming was running massively, and everyone's like, oh, blockchain gaming. It's like, look, blockchain gaming is an amazing narrative, and it's great. It'll do great. But that doesn't mean digital collectibles won't be one of the most amazing narratives coming up just because blockchain gaming is hitting right now. Digital collectibles will be one of the biggest narratives within crypto that will massively transform collecting. And so, like, so many people were fighting on OMI at the time. Like, we're stubborn. We're like, dude, OMI is one of the best companies in our opinion and one of the best tokens that we like. So we want to create a show dedicated to OMI is my homie at the time, where everyone said we were crazy for doing it. And here we are today, and some people still think we're crazy because it hasn't played out yet. It is going to play out. VV continues to make good revenues. I don't know if they're revenue neutral, revenue positive, revenue negative a little bit, but the fact that they have those kind of revenues on the books is, should they run into shortfall of money, puts them in, they're very loanable at that type of situation. So VV's in a solid position the way most crypto companies aren't to weather the bear market until the, altcoins go crazy and the digital collectibles narrative hits again. Crazy like a fox. Exactly. People told me I was crazy during the last bear market. Like, oh, you're a permabull, and this Cardano stupid thing you're investing in, it's never going to do well. And everyone knows Charles Hoskinson got kicked out of the ETH team, and he's just this radical that nobody wants to play with in the sandbox because they all hate him, and everyone in crypto hates Charles Hoskinson, and he's never going to survive. And there were like 7 channels, 7 of the biggest YouTube channels about crypto were fudding on Cardano pretty much every single day. And yet Cardano did 200x from the bottom. So I was right and they were wrong. Again, happens a lot. Why? Because I didn't get into crypto to mess around. I got in here to take chances where the odds are stacked for me. And that doesn't mean I don't have losses. In fact, my first bear market, 2/3 of what I invested in failed. 1/3 of it survived, and 1/3 of it that survived took me 20x from what I invested, or 100x from the bottom that my portfolio hit in March of 2020, which was pretty depressing to see. Everything I'd put in was down like 80% from what I'd put in. But over the next year, it went up literally 100x from there. All right, guys. Well, that's what we got for tonight. Guys, it's Christmas coming up. Remember, crypto in many ways is just a game. Don't take yourselves too seriously. Can this create life-changing wealth? Yes. If you're taking the right actions, it will for you. And it's going to be a fun year coming up. The kind of fun that this year was not. It was not. Almost no narratives pumped this year. It was a very, very dry year. Next year, that's not going to be the case. Love you guys. See y'all soon.
To the space, chasing all of the games, chasing the pumps and all of the hype trains. But like in life, shit bad before you could. Was told to buy when it was pouring like a rainmaker should. I buy when it's down, don't chase the boats that I miss. Cause I always make the time in mind. I take the one out cause I'm patient like that. And I'll wait for the right time. I sell when it's high, I buy when it's low. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm just a rainmaker running the show. Calculated investments, I don't leave with my heart. The principles are simple, to leave in a mark. Buy when it's boring, just gotta be smart. I sell when it's hype, like all the channels they pump it. That's when I was selling, go parabolic and dump it. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Time is never better, the time like the present. This next 5 years is a gift and it's feeling like heaven. I'm committed to learn, to study and to know that nothing comes easy but with knowledge the game show. Sticking out this wrong cause soon will come a bear market. Learning and growing and when it's slow will be the target. Naysayers come out, Bitcoin is dead. The massive decreases can get to your head. Sticking around, the time is better. I'm strong like that, I'll let the others be fretters. 2 years time the ball will bring back the gains. That makes it worth the effort cause here comes the rain. So let's go rainmakers, let's make it all happen. Let go of the hate, let the haters be crafting. I'm here for 5 years, let's do this together. The time is right, the time could be better. They call me rich, they call me smart. I'm a rainmaker, making my own start. I'm with the future, learning the past. Makes the time fly by, years going so fast. The game plan is mine, I'll own it now. When I reach the top, haters asking me how. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck. Haters be hating, the time to slow down. Addressing what they say when I'm wearing my crown. They're chasing green candles like someone who was new. I got a vision that was bigger, helping me to push through. I'm still human and sometimes it is rough. And that's what makes me special, simply I stay tough. Cause I'm a rainmaker, investments I love. And I follow what I learn, not relying on luck.